Hi, hello. My name is Taquisha Lachey if it's your first time here. In today's video, we're doing something a little different, as you can probably tell from the title. I was inspired by Jennifer Lewis's video that I saw on Instagram, and I feel like it was one of those situations where you hear something 100 times and one person says a phrase slightly different, and all of a sudden it just like clicks in your head. And so that's what today's video will be about. It's not bookish, but it is life. And one thing that I always love talking about, usually just with close friends and family, is like me kind of figuring out these tiny pieces to a puzzle. And so yeah, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I don't know how I'm gonna do the layout yet, but I'm just so excited. Like last night I had all this excited energy. So let's get into the video.
Don't let life you up. It's yours. It's yours to drive. Get up in the morning, write down what you're gonna do in a day. Be happy on your way to your job, even if you don't like it. You gotta be happy on your way to happy. Don't think you're gonna get there and be happy.
That video meant so much, and there were so many parts that I'd like to break down, explain how they helped me. So first, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am 26, and most of my life, I've been seen as someone who's like very happy. I've been told consistently that you're such a positive person and you're always so happy. That hasn't always been the case, honestly. And I don't think that it was a very like conscious decision. I think when I was younger, I just have always been sort of wanting to be what people need. And so being sad wasn't really in the cards, but at the same time, there is sort of a piece in me that has like toxic positivity almost, like no matter what happens, I'm like, it's fine. And that's not what today's video about. And I don't recommend that you adopt that as how you live your life. But I will say that I've always been like broke mostly. I hate saying poor because I feel like I've been wealthy in so many ways, but financially, I've never had a lot of money. And my family and I have always gone through many struggles because of money. I grew up with a single mother, and there's just been a lot through life, as all of us have gone through, that it's funny looking back how people say I'm always positive, because there hasn't always, I guess, been a reason to be positive. Although the toxic positivity bug in my brain says, yes, there was. But today is about now, I feel like just in this year, me coming to realize how to be happy on the way to happy. Because this isn't really about your past or teaching you to be happy. But I figure if you clicked on this, hopefully it was so that it can make some sense here soon. What I hope resonates and hope you take with you, and please take with you whatever serves you and leave whatever doesn't, is that there has to be a life that you're living currently. Like right now, I'm living with my sister in an apartment, and I have so many big dreams, and I haven't achieved like any of them. Not really. All of the things that I'm very proud of have been internal, and that's wonderful, but I really love externally for things to reflect. But that's not what today's video is about. There are a lot of reasons I could just not be happy, but I think that I've gained these little treasure box of pieces that work for me, and hopefully they will work for you. Essentially what this video is saying is to be happy on your way to happy. If you click this, or I don't know, maybe you have a dream. I have a huge dream. I've always carried that dream. Before, I didn't know how to be happy on the way to this like big goal of mine. Since I was 6, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I say quotation, but I was very sure of it. It felt like this dinging in the center of my chest. I knew I wanted to be an actress. I knew that I wanted to be in movies and create art and live a big life and travel the world. And I knew these things, okay, even at 7. And at that age when I was younger, I couldn't see how I could be happy if I didn't have that. If I didn't have that, then it meant that I wasn't like worthy, or I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't shiny enough yet. And I would sort of, not on a day-to-day, but sort of think that like I wasn't complete unless I had that. And that's the thought process that we're kind of focusing on in this video. So let's see, I wrote so many notes down and I'm still not sure because I've never done anything like this. And I really hope that this, this in a way was like what people have been telling my whole life. It's a different way of saying it's about the journey, not the destination. And that never made sense to me because my destination was literally all that mattered. Like, how could they not get that? Like, the journey, it was about the destination. It was about making movies. It was about working with the people that I dreamed of working with. It was about creating art and storytelling. So when I was younger, I almost romanticized, and I think that it sort of is romanticized to like live for that. I think I heard a quote when I was younger, and I can only paraphrase: you have to want something so bad that it's your food and your air and your life. And at the time, I was very committed to that idea. I was so committed to it because I was like miserable. I didn't, when I was younger, daydream about anything else or want anything else. There wasn't like a dream of Disney World or a dance class lifestyle or anything of that nature. It was all about like, I just wanted to become an actress. I just wanted to make movies. My younger self got into this huge rut of that. Okay. And here's how, hopefully you're not still there. I'm not, thankfully, but I still do these practices, these little things in my life that make me really happy on my way to happy. So I told you about my younger self, and people are constantly telling me how positive I am, how happy I am, ray of sunshine, awesome. And I love that. That's wonderful. I like to be the light. Throughout life, I've had these little beautiful moments. Like when I was 18, my mother took me to Niagara Falls. Like I said, traveling and like acting were all. So even as I got older, when I couldn't have what I wanted, when I couldn't act, and I imagined that everything would be perfect if I could just get into that, that it kind of went to, not like as in I gave up, but as in my focus was on traveling, because technically that was possible. And I wanted to see one of the wonders of the world. And I'm not sure if this is true, but 18-year-old me thought it was. And that was that Niagara Falls was one of the 8th wonders of the world, 7. It's bad that I don't know that, but stay with me. And this will lead us to the first little treasure piece in my box. And so I went to Niagara Falls and I was so excited because even though it was like a 3-hour drive from where I was at this place I had never been before, and technically in another country. And I was 18 and I thought like my whole life is starting right now, and this is like the best way to open it. So thank you, Mom. She watches all my videos, so I know she'll watch this. And I remember just being so excited. Like I was in this other country and things were different, like the currency, and Niagara Falls was beautiful. And that's what I wanted to go see. So we did go there, and I was with my aunt and my sister and my cousin and my mom. And I remember me on the inside wanting to just sit there. I wanted to sit at Niagara Falls and just for hours, like listen to the water rushing and watch the people and just enjoy that mist, when you're right by it. And then at night when the lights are there, I wanted to sit there. And I remember after we saw it, my aunt was like, okay. And like we never did. And at the time I wasn't capable of voicing out that I just wanted to sit there for hours. I'm sure my mom would have let me and everyone else could have gone and been happy. But that's the first little treasure, this jewel that I will share with you that does help me be happy on my way to happy. And that's to sit deeply in your bliss, or any type of happiness, or in your contentment. Like stretch it out. I feel like we are constantly rushing through things. We just are constantly going. So even when we get somewhere that we do like think of a time where you've actually done it. Did you really sit in that moment? Did you really go, I'm here? And really let yourself enjoy it. So that is my first jewel of advice. And there's been many other times now where I will just sit. I mean, like now I'll just like spin in circles and look at sunsets. And I still kind of drink my coffee too fast. But there's like a moment that you need to like learn how to settle and enjoy your blissful moment, your happy moment. Sit deeper into pleasures in your life, because the more that you do that, the more that you'll find that you can acknowledge this little happy. I'm going to get into something about gratitude later, so I'm just kind of pinpointing this in my brain. Another like tip that I have for that, when I was younger and kind of starting my spiritual journey, the word gratitude, like when people would say, show you're grateful, say you're grateful to the universe. And again, I always have been like not rich and struggled and not had cars and blah, 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 lots of things. So we've all had our own different facets of life that would make things complicated. But there's a little like resentful part of me that used to have such a hard time with that. Now I'm very good at saying like, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. But if that kind of hackles you up a little bit and you think of all that you don't have, maybe coin a term, and you can borrow mine if you want, about how you react when you are happy. And my friends can attest to this, and my family can attest to this. When I'm happy, and usually it's reading, I'll say something like, God, I love it here, just in this moment. And I don't know when I started saying that, or if I started saying it first, or if I got it from someone, but now whenever I'm happy, I'm reading, I'm sipping a coffee, I'm laughing with my sister, anything that I'm doing, watching a movie by myself, I will just like say out loud, literally, which might seem weird now that I think of it, but who cares? Like, I love it here. It's sort of like that reader thing altogether, like where a lot of us will pause and be like, just stop and give yourself a moment to really acknowledge that you're happy in that moment. You don't have to even think like, I'm happy here, but I think it'll happen like automatically if you just pause and have that moment. So I think this is a good place to enter. My friend Darian was kind enough. I went on a retreat. Okay, and this makes it sound like maybe, but whatever. Over life, I have collected, honestly, some wonderful things that have happened. I've been to New York City, and I've been to Italy, and all of this throughout many years of desires. I feel like it does shortcuts. Some of us haven't done anything, but I have done these things, and my hunger is not even, but let's just say this. I don't want it to discount the reality of the fact that like I'm not rich, but I'm happy. But I have had these beautiful things, like going to see Beyonce with my little sister, and going to New York City and see my first Broadway play, and going to Italy with my little sister and eating different foods, and finally like being around a different culture and hearing different language. I've always been so fascinated with the outside world and anything other than like my small town sort of existence. I still have lots of dreams and huge like travel aspirations, but like these are the things that I've gained over time, like my first concerts, which was Bruno Mars, loved it, and all these little things that I carry with me and that I'm so grateful for. Even little moments like going out at 3 a.m. like we have a 24-hour donut spot with my sister, dancing in a parking lot. Like I have these jeweled moments, and that's what it means, like happy on your way to happy. Although at that time I didn't know that. So let me get back to things. This is my friend Darian. I went on a retreat and I met her. It was hosted by a woman named Shelby. And one night she told us like, look at Darian eating. And then the next day we learned about how she does intentional eating. So what I will do is in clip her voice audio, which she was so nice enough to like let me, record. And I'm going to show her Instagram, and you guys can listen to this, because that's sort of what I mean too, to sit in things, sit in how you're eating. I know me personally, even still, sorry, Darian, and she's the loveliest, sweetest person. So I really hope you enjoy and take something from this. Sorry, my leg's asleep. We never sat at the dinner table when I was younger. So like we'd all take our plates and go back to our rooms. And I remember like the most that I would do in like thinking of like, oh, I'm about to eat this meal, is like have to find the perfect TV show. And I think a lot of us have made jokes about that, or I've seen memes where it's like pausing to get to the perfect thing so you can eat. But this is like a whole other thing, and it's to like really sit and like enjoy the meal you're gonna have. And I do this more with tea than food, but take what you like from this. Everything in this video, please take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. And again, I don't know why I'm giving advice, and it's not really advice so much as like telling you how I have found how to be happy on my way to happy, considering that I don't have the things that I want yet. And hopefully you guys will see that journey, and I will be someone who has everything. But right now I can tell you I still love myself, and I know that I'm worthy, and I know that I'm happy, honestly, even though I don't even have a car, but I'm happy on my way to happy. And so hopefully this can help you too, even though we all have different struggles, to find your happy. So I will put it in, and my foot's asleep, so I'm just gonna put it in, and I hope you enjoy. And thank you so much, Darian, and I love you so much for taking the time to do this. Thank you.
My mindful eating practice begins before I start eating. So I look at the food, really absorb the flavors, the textures, the colors. I smell it and I anticipate what it's going to taste like. I acknowledge and give gratitude for the journey it's taken to come to my plate, and how beautiful it is that this specific piece of food got to me. And I think about where it was in the ground and the seed, and its journey of growing, and the farmer who picked it, and the truck it was on to get to the grocery store, and the fact that the chef picked that specific one and the hands that prepared it. And then before I put it in my mouth, I smell it. And then once I put it in my mouth, I am really present with my taste buds and how they're experiencing the flavors. I acknowledge where on my tongue I feel these flavors, on the roof of my mouth, on my cheeks. I'm present with the chew.
Okay, so I hope that you all enjoyed that. That was Darian. I still don't do it all the time, but definitely just thinking about it sometimes. Usually when I'm out at a nice restaurant, I'll kind of implement it. Take what serves you, even if it's 25% of one sentence. You don't have to do all of it. I just want you to be able to be happy on your way to what you feel is what you need to be happy, because you deserve happiness now. Okay, so next I'll talk about being more intentional. I walk a lot at my job, and I like to walk to clear my mind and to be happy. And so when I first started working this job, I was like, well, I don't really need to go walk on my days off, considering, I'm sorry, I really don't like this. I think I'm gonna take it off. Okay. I thought to myself, like, I don't need to walk on my days off because I'm walking all the time, no car, walk for my job a lot. But there's a huge difference in being intentional with what you do. So even if you're enjoying a peaceful thing or rolling your face, don't do anything that you do for yourself as a job. Be very intentional with it. I go for walks to actually walk. And sometimes I watch a movie, and it's not just to put it on. It's because I would like to experience this movie, because a lot of us are like scrollers and we don't watch movies wholly. Be intentional with most of the things that you do, or try to be intentional with things that are meant to make you happy. Don't just get the coffee on a route and just like sip it down while listening to music and thinking about meeting and stuff. Sit in your moment and be intentional in it. Intentional part's gonna be kind of short because I can't think of more. The next thing that I'm gonna tell you for my little jewel box here, another jewel, is another little treasure piece, another booty, is find magic in the mundane. Although I don't think that much of the things that I find magic in are mundane, I love sunsets. I love the rain. I love noticing the world around me, like it's turning to fall. I love seeing the creamer hit my cup and turn like this beautiful deep brown black thing into like swirls, and how it like has to, you know, kind of swirl around, and then when I store it, it turns into something else completely. I love so many moments. Like, you know, that audio that's very popular, like Instagram, the one that's like, I've known Nick Nelson for 16 years. That one where it's like he likes the sound of felt tips on paper, dogs, all these things. I think you need to write out what you like. How long have you been on this world? Find magic in the mundane. Don't make it things that like cost a lot of money, but what do you like? Do you like music? Do you like the sound of popcorn being made? Like, or if you've watched the movie Amélie, I love Amélie. I'm sorry, I'm not French and I always mess it up. But it's this movie about this French girl, and she's like a whimsy way of thinking in the world. And one of her favorite things is like shoving her hands into beans. Not that sanitary after COVID, but nonetheless, perfect movie, amazing. And that wasn't the point. I'm not a killjoy. Stick your hand in beans if you want. It's those. Find magic in these like free little moments. And mine is usually like the first sip of coffee. And I think that a lot of us like always think of that, like, oh, that first sip of coffee. But find something that is that for you. Opening a book, or I don't know what your thing is, but I love lighting candles every night before I go to sleep, or incense in the morning. I do both every day, pretty much. And I love rolling my feet out when I get home with a tennis ball. I love that feeling when you are halfway through a book and it can hold open on its own. I love that sitting in the theater when the lights drop. And so all of these things, find your magic in the mundane, or things that you pass by. I love a sunset and acknowledging it, and really sitting in it and enjoying it. I love very icy water and extra lemon. And so find out what you love that's like free and enjoy that. Or maybe you need to learn something new. Like I did violin for a year. Well, it was less than a year, but by like 2 months. I did violin for nearly a year. It was something that I wanted to do for a really long time. And I think I'll do a whole nother video if if I don't throw up editing this one, about your child self, like honoring your child self, thriving in your present self, and then like I don't know, flowing in your future self. I just made that up. But nonetheless, it was sort of like that idea. And I think you should go back to something maybe that you had an interest in, or even if you had an interest in, you stopped because it was childish, like drawing or coloring or painting or making little beads or knitting. Do whatever kind of thing makes you happy. But for me, I'm a reader. If you watch my other videos, they are all about books. Even though I would like to make movies, your girl is still scared and I'm constantly afraid of failure, but that's not what this video is about. It's about being happy on your way to happy. So let's focus. I love reading. I've always loved reading. It's a companion that is constantly there. I'm not saying read self-help. This isn't the type of video that's like heal you. I just want you to be happy where you can be. You don't need to think like the world is a rainbow, but I don't want you to be miserable thinking that once you got there, you could just be happy. It's like, oh my God, I just screenshot this last night. Life is what happens when you're making plans. I think it's John Lennon, and I might have said it wrong, but I will put it on the screen. But that's true. Life is what happens when you're planning or when you're thinking that once you get there. There is no there. There's just like here. And I love that for you. And this isn't about manifesting either. And I promise I'll come back and focus. This is just how my brain works. This isn't about hoping for your new future. Your future is what it is. Definitely make strides towards that. But I want you to, this is more for people who don't know how to just sit now and find the little things that make you happy. I used to hate this town that I live in. I hated it. It's small. It's like very family. And I know that might sound like meh, but with my dreams and my goals, being around people who are just like kind of small-minded, being around coworkers and factory workers who are like, oh, it could be worse, or what are you going to do about it? When people complain about their lives, like, oh, what are you going to do? Or figures, or, oh, bad things always happen to me, it is a battery dimmer. It is not energizing for me in any way. Okay, reading. See, I can do it. Like, my brain is brilliant. I love reading, and I don't suggest that you're like read self-help books, although I am listening to the audiobook right now of The Mountain Is You, and I found it quite nice. But that's like the first time I've listened to a health book. I mean, grab a fantasy book. Do things that you enjoy. Maybe I think a lot of today people are like the it girls. They work out and they eat right. Yes, definitely do that. If you can. They show books, it's like, oh, expanding your mind. I think your mind can be expanded in different ways. And as someone who didn't love my school system or thrive in it, to no fault of like anyone but like the school system, it wasn't like individually a teacher's fault for most of them. Do things that you enjoy. So I read a lot of smut. I love the romance. I love the anticipation. I love the tension. I love the growth. I love how characters grow when they're in love. And I hate throwback breakups. I love romance. I am partial to mafia and to fantasy. I love fantasy as well. I love the idea that we get the dragon and we slay the evil king and all the things, okay? Do things that you enjoy. Maybe don't do everything in the sense that like it's medicine. Be the spoonful of sugar and the medicine, let it be medicine for your soul. Which brings me to, filling yourself up. That's what I need to get to, filling yourself up. Enjoy music and stuff. I will tell you some of the things I do, and I was going to record them, but then I was like, I'm too insecure for that because like my apartment's not aesthetic, and I say my apartment, but what I mean is my sister's apartment and my room. Grateful to have a home. All the things. Like I don't want anyone to be like, oh, I don't want to come off complaining. I'm just stating the facts so that it's not like your spoonful of sugar and like let it be medicine to fill yourself up, which brings us to filling yourself up first. Every day when I wake up, I like to stretch. Actually, the first thing I do, and this feels like so corny to say, not even corny, but like I hug myself. That's the thing I do first thing, and think to myself, you deserve everything and I love you so much and I would do anything for you. You can say whatever you want. That's not mean. Don't implement saying you're the worst. No, you're not the worst. This can take a while. And it's so crazy because like now it might seem like, oh, she's talking all this stuff about loving herself. And it so hurts to say, but like hated myself at one point. It took a lot of time and little things throughout my life and acceptance and like letting go to get here. Ultimately, back in the day, my mother, everyone would tell me like how precious I was. I did not. It went over my head. My sister would tell me how wonderful, how strong, how creative, and I just couldn't take it in. So no one else is really going to fix you in this. You're going to have to start embarrassing and cringing. You're gonna have to go in that mirror. You're gonna have to say, I love you. I think you're so special. I think you deserve all the happiness. And even if you can't start with I love you, talk about what you deserve. And what you deserve is what everyone deserves, is happiness. And I think you deserve peace. And I think you deserve joy and all the great things. Think of great things that you would want everyone to deserve. You at least deserve that, right? Thank you. I don't want to get into like, oh, I'm beautiful, I'm powerful. Let's just start off with basic things you deserve, and then we can go from there. It's going to take a while. It took me a long time. Fill yourself up first. So I wake up, I hug myself, and then I like to do a couple little stretches. I love to do the cat and cow pose, cat and cow. I love to stretch my wrist, which, you know, I like to stretch my ankles, get the blood flow going. I like to twirl like my body kind of, and like especially move the hips. Honestly, every day, I don't twerk every day, but I like to like wind the hips a little bit. And I think that it's just really nice. And I also like to really like dance with the spine. And it sounds like this takes a long time. And on my best days, it does. My morning routine will take like an hour or 2 hours. And I used to pride myself on being like, I get ready so easily and so quick. No, I don't. I didn't. I just didn't have time. Like, I didn't know how much I loved these things yet. We put on classical music because she's classy. Mostly I like slow morning music. I brush my teeth, I get some water, and I have my incense so that when I come back into my room, it's filled. And I fill myself up first. I don't touch my phone for at least the first. Do your fill yourself up routine. I can't tell you what that's going to be, but I suggest stretching. I suggest telling yourself what you deserve, just to remind yourself, because on a subconscious level, I don't think you deserve that, which is why you can't say that you love yourself and why you can't say that you deserve all these things. But I'm not your therapist. That was just me to pass to me, I guess, if it doesn't resonate. Give yourself water, love yourself. Like yourself, okay? Let's start liking. I know it's hard, but we're gonna get in a relationship with ourselves, okay? And weirdly enough, I don't read first thing in the daytime, but I've also gotten really good at making French toast. Make yourself a breakfast. It makes a world of difference. I usually would like not eat breakfast, but I found that when I started having a morning routine that like I like a lot of things I didn't freaking know. So figure out what fills your cup. You know that movie Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts? Yeah, like she didn't know how she liked eggs, and then the end found out she didn't like eggs at all. I'm like the opposite. I thought I was so low maintenance and I could just get up and roll out of bed and get dressed, brush my teeth. But like the truth is, I love a slow morning. I love stretching and dancing and sipping on water and on coffee. I love making myself French toast with eggs and tomato, all the things. Fill yourself up. You know what makes you happy. Try to write out what drains your energy and what increases your energy. Don't go on your phone. You don't need other people to be in your head or think of how you wish you looked or how you wish you lived. Yeah, let me see. What else do I have? Oh yeah, there's a Side Roads audio that hopefully I can put in here from Hunter x Hunter. I love anime. I'm new, so I said that, but I hope people don't come out actually expecting me to know anime. But I've watched Hunter x Hunter, and I love this part at the end where like the whole time, Gon's whole purpose was going to get his dad. What's his name? Gon's whole purpose was going to find his dad, and I can't remember his dad's name right now, and it's gonna really, really irritate me. But at the very end, when they're finally together, his dad's been having this plan that he's been planning towards for like years, probably since before Gon was born. He has this whole speech about the side roads, like through trying to get to this one thing, he met his best friend, he met multiple friends, he's grown so many times because we had to go through like all of the different things, like the Chimera ant thing and all this. But it's about the side roads, and I hope that through this video, hopefully, even though I know it was, but it finds you somehow, that it can help you enjoy the side roads. Like, stop and look at the views there, because you deserve happiness. I promise you do, and that you're wonderful. And even if you're not the smartest or pretty or not skinny, I don't care. Because I think that we all make up reasons why we don't deserve these things. You deserve happiness. Bottom line, it's not up for discussion. You deserve financial stability and peace and joy. And I hope that you can find your own jewel box. Please take from mine, it's fine, for how to be happier in the now before you get to happy. And the last part that I would like to talk about, 2 little things. Don't romanticize misery. I meant to say that earlier, but that's just for my younger self. It's just a reminder. Don't romanticize thinking you have to hustle so hard for your goals that you're supposed to have it be your air and your sunshine and your soil. That's what the air, sunshine, and soil are for. You're not meant to be miserable. None of that's cute. This is your life, and you deserve happiness, not misery. Yes, you'll be uncomfortable. It's the right kind of uncomfortability comes growth, but you're not meant to be miserable. Don't do that. And the second thing is, and final thing, I promise, to the last part that Miss Jennifer Lewis said, which is you'll meet yourself there. My sister and I have conversations all the time where she'll show me old pictures of when she was working out really hard, and we were so close to our goals in our minds. But actually, now that we're bigger than that, we realize that we were still wonderful. And I'm constantly telling her, maybe try this time to love yourself here where you are. The last thing is you'll meet yourself there. Love yourself through this. You're all that you have. And I hope that when you get to that place, that you like who you meet. So please love yourself here before you get to here. And you're going to grow so much, and you're wonderful. And let me see, did I write anything else? Yeah, you meet yourself there. I think that's what I got from that part. Like, you're gonna, I shouldn't have gotten what I wanted at 9. Not because I didn't deserve it or anything, but I would have given anything. I would have been just like chewed up and spit out. But I'm more, I love myself now. So I like who I'm gonna be later. I'll meet myself there. But you have to carry yourself the whole time. Does that make sense? Anyway, people are waking up, so this is over. I really hope that you got something from this video. I want you to know you're magnificent, even if you're ordinary, because we all are. Wherever you are in this world, honestly. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, night, and life. And I'm gonna see you in the next video. And I hope that you liked this, honestly. It felt like so nerve-wracking to do it, but now I'm happy it's done. And I think I said everything that I wanted to say. Okay, have a great day. Bye.
On your way to happy, don't think you're gonna get there and be happy. You carry yourself with you. You can't run. I've tried to run, but you meet yourself when you get there. You meet yourself when you get there, babies. You can't run.